The clash of ideologies, the echoes of burning books, and the future of the desert set the stage for a conflict that went beyond mere territorial disputes. It was a battle of ideas, a struggle for the very soul of the desert. In this Minecraft server, players are able to create their own nation, forge alliances, and go to war. In today's video, players create new civilizations in the already thriving landscape. This is Rise and Rule. The aftermath of the massive world war against Babonia put the world in an era of reconstruction and recovery for nations across the continent. The conflict had left a trail of devastation, both in terms of player casualties and the depletion of vital resources. As nations grappled with the daunting task of rebuilding, a fragile peace settled over the continent. However, this period also witnessed the birth of new nations. Among these emerging nations was Palthera. After being freed from Babonia and gaining independence, Palthea emerged as Palthera. And with the death of the old leader, a new leader was at the helm. Palthera sought to redefine itself in the post-war landscape, and the nation was determined to forge its path of independence. Despite the aspirations for a new beginning, Palthera encountered a rocky start. Palthera was upset with Quasar, a nation that sided with Babonia during the war. Palthera's leadership, still nursing wounds from the conflict, issued stern warnings to Babonian supporters, threatening imprisonment. This included players from Quasar. But the situation was further complicated by Quasar's geopolitical position. No longer an independent entity, Quasar had become a dominion of Pharmo. Pharmo, now responsible for Quasar's well-being, responded with displeasure to Palthera's threats. "If you lay just a single finger on Quasar, I will kill you and your family." Just like Palthera, nations across the world faced unforeseen challenges that would reshape their destinies. The young nation of Vanoria found itself at a historical turning point. Day 52 at 73 became a pivotal moment. Just north of Vanoria, a neighboring nation faced the threat of losing its sovereignty. With dwindling population and a sluggish economy, the leader of this nation stood at the helm of a historic decision. In a desperate bid to salvage their nation, they turned to Vanoria, seeking a lifeline that would ensure its survival. Vanoria responded to the neighboring leader's plea for assistance. The Prince of Vanoria, along with other members of the monarchy, devised an unconventional solution: a royal wedding between the leader and the King of Vanoria. However, just days before the much-anticipated wedding, tragedy struck Vanoria. The reigning king fell gravely ill, and to the surprise of the nation, the king passed away. This unexpected turn of events put the prince into an unforeseen role as the new king of Vanoria. The new king would now be the one to marry the nation leader. In the wake of the king's passing, Vanoria embraced change as it fell into a new era under the leadership of its newly crowned king. As a symbolic gesture of this transformation, the nation sought to redefine its identity by altering its flag. This visual representation of change reflected Vanoria's determination to move forward into a future untethered by the shadows of its past. While some nations dealt with challenges during the post-war rebuilding era, others found themselves presented with unexpected opportunities. This narrative unfolds in the southern part of the continent, where settlers arrived on the South Island. These pioneers built a small town and soon found themselves thriving in this new environment. The establishment of Ostania became a testament to the resilience and adaptability of these settlers in the face of uncertainty. However, the success and prosperity of Ostania sparked tensions with the nation to the north, Kavir. Unhappy with the presence of newcomers on what they considered their island, the Kavir government faced a critical decision. Rather than resorting to violence, they recognized an opportunity for diplomatic solution, leading to the peaceful merge of Ostania with Kavir. This unification not only resolved the initial discontent, but also laid the foundation for a stronger and more cohesive island nation, uniting the people under one banner. Kavir and Ostania would not be the only two nations uniting. Mazva and Valazor, recognizing the potential for greater strength through unity, chose to merge and form the Republic of Escatan. This would make Escatan the second largest nation in terms of population. But the significance of this union extended beyond mere numbers, representing a strategic alliance that promised mutual growth and prosperity for the citizens of both former nations. Pharmo, currently the largest nation by population, was once again getting involved in continental conflicts. A new and unconventional nation formed in the desert called the United Communist Republic of the Desert. This new anarchist nation, devoid of any centralized government, laws, or morals, posed a stark contrast to the traditional structures of governance seen elsewhere. The UCRD's extreme measures, including acts of violence against those who got even close to their borders. They sought to unite the desert under their banner. The UCRD, driven by an unwavering belief in communism, initiated a movement to share their vision with neighboring nations. Armed with books that informed of their ideology, they embarked on a mission to convert others. The UCRD ventured into the northern nation of Urbis, attempting to share their communist manifesto. The UCRD members faced unexpected resistance from Urbis players who, in an act of defiance, attempted to burn the books. This symbolic rejection became the catalyst for a dramatic turn of events as the UCRD, angered by the perceived disrespect to their ideology, declared war on Urbis. In response to the UCRD threat, the nation of Mycelium sided with Urbis in the war. But strangely, the nation of Farmo initially sided with the UCRD in this conflict. However, internal dissent quickly eroded this alliance, with Farmo's citizens growing increasingly disappointed over their government's decision. Faced with mounting unrest, Farmo ultimately withdrew from the war, leaving the UCRD to face the Urbis Mycelium alliance alone. On day 6128, the three nations converged in the heart of the desert, giving birth to the Battle of the Desert. The clash of ideologies, the echoes of burning books, and the future of the desert set the stage for a conflict that went beyond mere territorial disputes. It was a battle of ideas, a struggle for the very soul of the desert. After a long, intense battle, the UCRD emerged victorious, and without hesitation invaded the Urbis capital. The UCRD swiftly took over the capital, and Urbis and Mycelium had to surrender. The founder of the UCRD has achieved his goal. After a long war, the entire desert would fall under the banner of Wait, why is the UCRD on fire? Well, turns out having no centralized government causes the population to fall into chaos, and that's exactly what happened to the UCRD. The members realized that with no laws and no rules, they could do whatever they wanted, and looted, pillaged, murdered, and robbed everything the UCRD once was. Hey Mark, I'm gonna steal your newborn. What? You can't do that. Who's gonna stop me? The government... Oh, we don't have one of those. He's mine. Many players would leave the UCRD, and within a few hours after the war, the UCRD was gone. Just hours ago, Urbis and Mycelium were about to be forced into an anarchist communist regime. But now with the UCRD gone, they were still free. But this war wouldn't be for nothing. The nations of the desert used this as an opportunity, and to prevent something like this from ever happening again, they all united as the Urbis Myceptium Imperium. While the desert celebrates not being forced into an anarchist communist dystopia, the rest of the world was prospering. Well, except these guys.